Imagine, if you will, 1 million people or more. Perhaps you could visualize them all in the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Perhaps it'd be easier to see them all in the largest square in the world, Tiananmen Square, in Beijing, China. With the inauguration of President Trump, there's been much controversy in estimating crowd size. Fortunately, it is now a science. One just has to know density and area. If the crowd is moving, then all you need to know is how many pass through a certain area over time. Most experts use a number of 2.5 people per square meter. 1 square mile has 2.59 million square meters. So no one will argue that 3 square miles would be unable to hold less than 1 to 3 million people. The beach in Nuwieba, Egypt, very easily holds the size of 3 square miles. The opposing beach on the other side in Saudi Arabia is even bigger. There, 3 square miles looks actually tiny. Yet, 3 square miles swallows up Tiananmen Square, the Forbidden City, and surrounding area. Likewise, 3 square miles is almost all of what's important in Washington, D.C. If we assume that the average person can walk 3 miles per hour, it is not fantasy that a large crowd could cover 10 miles in under 8 hours, as long as they had a wide enough path to walk in. In my 5-second simulation, I have a wall of people walking 1 mile abreast. The path, of course, could be larger. The 1 mile is representative of density. Covering 10 miles would not be a problem for a fit crowd. When I was in grade school in the late 1960s, we had to participate in 10-mile walkathons. The various routes took us up hills, down hills, yet we and my friends could do it in under 4 hours. We were less than 10 years of age. Yes, we were sore the next day, but making a lot of money for our poor school and not appearing weak really mattered. If our lives depended on it, walking 10 miles could have been done barefoot and without water. My pastor commented on this epic story. Here's what he said in a sermon a few months ago.
And one of the things that I find a little bit fascinating, this is one of the stories that has been attacked viciously by critics of Christianity. It's one of those stories that they say, this is impossible, it never happened, that can't happen. They've made up all kinds of different stories. In fact, we've even got archaeological sites that are kind of a hoax to show how this could have happened. Like they have a crossing where the water is so narrow that they could basically wade through the water. Well, tell me how that killed the entire Egyptian army. That doesn't quite fit the whole story. Yeah, sure, their wheels might get stuck in the mud, but it doesn't quite explain the whole thing. Especially dry lands. They had to get across the Red Sea in one night. Remember, this all happened in one night. If they went on a narrow path, which it doesn't usually depict, a double file line, the line would be 800 miles long and would require 35 days and nights to get through, if you just did the math. So there had to be an opening in the Red Sea roughly 3 miles wide so that they could walk 5,000 abreast to get over in one night. The pictures we see are far from what God really did. We paint pictures in our mind. The movies do an awful job of it, but we're trying to grasp what this meant. They journeyed in the desert for 40 years. Do you think Moses worked all this out before he left Egypt? If he'd sat down and really thought about this, he would have never left. This is why he's in the faith chapter.
The Red Sea crossing, but we're on the Saudi Arabian side, which is the land of Midian. And 10 miles over there is the Sinai Peninsula. That's the modern resort of Nuwieba. And that is where Ron Wyatt first found the chariot parks for the Red Sea crossing. You can see Wadi Watir, which is that V-shaped canyon through the haze over there, 10 miles over there. And that's where the Israelites came through the canyon. It was one way onto the beach, and then, of course, the Egyptian army came after them, and they were stuck over there. And here we are on the Saudi Arabian side, thanks to the tourist visas.
Yes.
Love those tourist visas. So there's plenty of room here. I mean, you could have
much
easily.
bigger on this side than that side.
It is.
Yeah, so they can spread out, and we're gonna be driving into the land of Midian. So there's definitely a way off this beach.
So what do you think, Luke?
What?
See, are you singing the song of Miriam or what?
Century.